There's a reason behind it. I'm not going to get into the reason. I would rather get into the show, which is 5 hard truths of private trustee training. So I'm just going to leave it there with current events. I appreciate y'all. Trust y'all having a good week. You enjoying yourself. You know, the weather's nice where you at. And you ready to get down, because I'm going to jump into this. Like I said, I usually talk about the mechanics and technicals with regards to administration. Whether you're administering a trust, public or private, a public corporation, LLC, charity, to me it doesn't matter. All of these entities are fundamentally administered very, very similarly, in the fact that you are not the entity and the entity is not you. So, with regards to this evening's show, this evening's broadcast, we're going to talk about 5 hard truths of a private trustee. I was talking to, one of the newer trustees in the foundation trustee training. And I found that over the years, when I'm dealing with new trustees, a couple weeks, couple months into the training, they say a lot of the same things. We experience a lot of the same situations and what we could say hard truths of the transition of a public individual, so to speak, just keeping it functional, and a private, administrator, a private man or woman, or a private trustee. So, I want to focus on, the mental, your mind, because we know all is mental, and everything starts in the mind. And when you're talking about trust, you're talking about administration, you're talking about wealth preservation, you're talking about generational wealth, you're talking about tax mitigation. We're all talking the same thing. But what occupies your mind? Your mental map. What do you hold in your mind? What do we hold in our minds, and sometimes continue to attempt to hold in our minds, and therefore kind of close to our hearts, as we try to take these steps into the private? It's like swimming in a pool, right? You can get in a pool. And in the pool of water, especially on the deep end, you can go underwater and pick up stuff that you couldn't pick up, outside of the water. You can be in the bottom of the pool, dragging around 100-pound, whatever it is. And you're picking it up and, you're playing with it and stuff. But as you leave that realm of being in the pool, the things that you hold and the things that you were playing with, you can't bring them with you. It's actually physically impossible. They're very, very heavy, and the pool gives them buoyancy and allows you to manipulate these objects easier. But as you exit the pool, you lose the buoyancy of being in the realm of the water. So it's much more difficult to manipulate these objects outside of a pool, outside of that environment, outside of that realm. And that is very similar to me as going private. As you move and transition private, there's stuff that you have in your mind. There's habits, there's characteristics, there's mannerisms of speech that you just can't bring with you to the private. It's a spiritual thing. I know I talk a lot about the functional, the substance, the true, the things you can touch, the trust indenture, and the trust signatures, the trust certificates, and the bank account statements, and just all these things. I touch on that a lot. But when we're talking about the mind and the transition, we're discussing something totally different. So I want to talk about, the difference, in the realms of what I, kind of just described as being in the pool, in the water, versus being outside the water, where the water allows buoyancy, and how that relates to how being in the public gives certain ideologies and behaviors buoyancy. It allows it to be okay or tolerated, where in the private it is not cool. You cannot do these things in the private. So let's get started. Let's get started with number one. Number one, the first hard truth that you're going to deal with as a private trustee is that you are on your own. 9 times out of 10, the person that you're looking for, that savior, that mentor, is you. You're going to have to be that for yourself. You're going to have to do the necessary research. You're going to have to do the necessary study. You're going to find mentors along your path that are going to help you in specific areas in specific ways. But overall, there's no one person or 2 people or 3 people that you're going to find, and you're going to go over there and sit in the cabin with them, and they're just going to help build you all the way up and teach you everything you know. And it's just some sort of, order or some sort of, discipline that's going to be taught. It doesn't work like that. This ain't the movies. And in the private, you're responsible for your own. You really are. You take care of yourself and yours. And that's really what it is. You may get lucky. You may get lucky and find mentors that are dope and fulfill a lot of the requirement of a mentor. But you're going to realize that that's only for a particular time. Once you absorb and once you learn what that teacher has to tell you, then you're going to realize that they don't have anything else to teach you, and you're going to have to move on. And realizing that you're on your own, you have to realize that you have to let go. And realizing that you have to let go, if you're true with your mental practice, knowing that you're going to have to let go requires that you don't get really attached in the first place. Knowing that you're on your own. Now, you're going to meet people, they're going to be cool. 9 times out of 10, they're going to stick with you. It's not going to happen. There's usually going to be something that's going to happen. Now, you're going to meet people. You're going to meet 2 types of people as you transition private. Those who rock with you and want to work with you and help you and learn with you, and those who either think you're trying to scam, they think you're being arrogant, that you think you're better than everyone, that you know everything, you're a know-it-all. Bottom line, you make them uncomfortable. They're no longer comfortable being around you. They used to be comfortable being around you, and you got this new knowledge, you got this new energy, you got this new dance, and I don't like it. I don't like it. You making me feel weird. I don't like to feel weird. So you're the problem. You're the problem, which leads me. Let me finish up number 1, and then I'll get into number 2. As far as being on your own, attorneys, lawyers, accountants, CBAs, they were all taught in the public education, control knowledge. They were not taught contract or constitutional law. Any trust law that they're familiar with, 9 times out of 10 is going to be public, statutory trust law, grantor type trust law, and which is different and distinct than the type of law that is the foundation of the trust structure that we use here at the foundation. So you're on your own. You're gonna talk to an attorney. They're gonna say you can't do that. Ain't no such thing as and if you believe him, okay. Walk on. You come back and say, you lied to me. You told me because the attorney. You're on your own. Ain't no attorney's going to be out here helping you. They first duty is to the public. So they structure entities in such a manner in the way that they were taught. And then if they get look, check this out. Even if you got an attorney, I've had clients. I've had this attorney in my family for years and years and years. And I'm like, all right, start talking to them. Start telling them, show them some documents. And I'm telling you, they stop answering their calls. They stop working with them. Shit gets weird. Excuse my language. Lifelong attorneys will stop taking your calls. At first, they're all excited, and they take the paperwork, and they're excited. They're like, you know what, blah, blah, and they go talk to their mentors and their elders who spook them. And basically tell them, you trying to lose your bar card? You trying to lose the ability to practice law? Because that's what you're about to do. You're derelict. You're in breach of your fiduciary duty as far as a bar attorney, because your first duty in your fiduciary duty as a state bar attorney is to the public, to the state. You over here, you finna help them with this private trust? This contract entity? Man, they're gonna think that you writing contract trust for people. You gonna get disbarred. And then now they spooked. Yo, they're going to think you over here writing trust for people to legally avoid taxes. You think you're going to keep your bar card doing that? Oh, man, get away from me. You deal with there's a lot of fear in the public. Contradistinction, or, contrary to, and in contradistinction to the fear in the public when you're dealing with in the private, you counterbalance that fear with knowledge. Only thing that dispels fear is knowledge. Or faith. But then even your faith can be tested. Knowledge, man, you can't tell me, man. If I know, hey, I've seen it 40 times, man. You seen it, I saw it. Come up to me, hey, the sun ain't going to rise tomorrow. Man, I have knowledge, bro. But, there's a place for faith. There's no need or requirement and no misunderstanding as far as me being dismissive or in any way putting down faith. Faith is very important. Absolutely important. But I'm talking about knowledge. So, what's the hard truth? Number one, you're alone. You're on your own. Number two, hard truth. People closest to you are going to be the people who listen to you last. Your friends, your brother, your sister, your mom, your uncle, your grandfather. If you're lucky, you'll have someone in your family who just trusts what you're talking about because you don't know what you're saying. You're trying to figure out what you're saying. You know about it in your mind because you've been listening to it. You've been studying this stuff, but you don't know how to properly articulate, to frame the necessary sentence structure required to explain what you're saying to them, because they don't have the prerequisite knowledge and study that you have to even form a basis of what you're even talking about. So, A, you sound crazy to them, and B, you're tripping. Oh, yeah, we going to avoid taxes legally and blah, blah, blah. You sound like you finna get everybody arrested. Everybody's finna go to the Fed is what you sound like. And why? Because most people, if they have any experience with anyone talking similar to how you were talking, them cats went to the Fed. I'm telling you. Holla black. So the people closest to you, the people who known you since you was little so-and-so, oh, that's little CC. That's little JJ. That's little poop poop. That's Bug. Hey, they don't hurt yourself. I'm telling you, don't mess with your relationships. These are lifelong relationships. You've known these people your whole life or damn near. Don't play yourself. Don't get mad at them. They have these unrealistic expectations that just because you checking something out or something's moving you, that it's automatically supposed to move them just because you say so. That's ego, bruh. That's ego, sis. You need to let that go. You need to meet them people on their level and understand that these people that you know, they're going to be the last to listen to you. They're going to have to see something. They've known you. They already know who you are. They've made up in their mind. They've known you for so long. They have experience with you. And you popping out, after a couple months like, yo, blah, 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 talking crazy, talking legalese and everything. They're not with it. They're not with it. Just leave it alone. I'm telling you, you can try. Everybody does. I did. Of course I did. You have a problem. You don't have a problem. You got trustees that jump in training, and then they set up trust estates for, their brother, their sister, and then they get upset and have a certain attitude because they don't feel like that person, that brother, that sister, that cousin, that uncle appreciated what they did for them. Man, they don't even know what you did for them. First of all, let alone how can they appreciate it? And you can't even tell them. You have to show them what you did for them. They'll be like, oh, man, you pull up in that? Yeah, I pulled up in that because, I have to expense it, otherwise it's going to be taxed. Word? Yeah. It's an allowable expense. Word, man, that's dope. Yeah, I set it up for you. You just don't use it. Well, man, how do I do it then? That's how that's going to work. You can fight against it all you want. That's the second hard truth of a private trustee. Bang, bang. Number 3, let's get into hard truth number 3. Your people, your friends, your family, the people closest to you, they shirk responsibility. What does that mean? They don't want it. They don't want to do nothing extra. They do not want to read. They do not want to learn. They don't want to research. They don't want to do it. They don't want to learn anything that's contradictory to their reality. They're not interested in it. You walking up to them wearing the same outfit. You know, you got to understand these people are still in the same mind state. And unless you show them, you got to pull up in a Bugatti or something. And then they'll listen to everything you say. But you walk up looking the same or maybe looking a little different because you ain't really on that material stuff anymore and you understand you don't own anything, you just control it. And whatever you wear belongs to the trust. They ain't trying to hear nothing you say to change their reality. They ain't trying to do no research. They ain't trying to learn. They ain't trying to read. They don't care about that PDF document that you sent to them in their email or texted them. They don't care. You sent them a YouTube video. They didn't watch it, man. And they're going to shirk with the responsibility. They might be down for the results. Oh, how'd you do that? Tell me how you did that. And you tell them, and they'll be like, oh, man. Well, I got to, man, I've been trying to, man, as soon as I get done with this, you know what? I was working on this. I got to finish this up first, and then I was just, I'm really busy, man. You know, you don't hear a lot of that. They're going to shirk responsibility. And are you going to allow that to, fog or taint how you view them? It's a hard truth. It's number 3. People looking at shirk, don't nobody want to do extra. Most people you deal with, they went to school. They already learned what they had to learn. I ain't finna learn nothing else. I'm having fun now. I'm gonna watch the game. If I'm gonna watch any video, it's gonna be the Housewives or something that make me laugh or something like that. I don't wanna. I'm not finna read nothing. Read what? Nah, finna read that. Most people can't keep their hands. They get bored, and within 30, 45 seconds, they on their phone. You telling them to read a document that's like 70-some pages? That's not happening. And then they say, I'm done with the document, and then they look up and there's 10 more documents? No, most people ain't having that. You got to understand that. That's a hard truth. You can't get upset about it. You can't be mad at them. I mean, you can, but it's detrimental. It's detrimental to you, your emotions, and your mind state, your psyche. That's what you have to understand. That's the hard truth. Let's get to number 4. What's number 4? Remember when I said in number 3, no one wants to read or research or do anything that's contradictory to their reality? Well, number 4, you will be met with violence if you challenge these people's reality. You go on private, you learning, you studying, you read Supreme Court cases, you're seeing something different. You got some documents from the National Archives, you got some documents, from the what we got here. They got the National Archives, and they got the man. I'm sitting right here looking at this thing. Oh man. Oh, congressional records. Man, I don't know why I drew a blank. You got the National Archives, you got the congressional records, you got federal statutes. You're doing research. You're doing research. And in that research, you're realizing it and coming to an understanding that things aren't what they seem. And there's different ways to do things. And there's more beneficial ways to do things. And actually, A lot of the things that we doing and what we've been doing is not correct. It's actually incorrect, and we look kind of silly. I feel ignorant and I feel silly, and I'm looking at you, and you look ignorant and you look silly, and I don't want you to look ignorant or be silly anymore, and I want you to benefit in the ways that I'm benefiting and in the ways that I see that we can benefit. You're going to be met with violence. It's going to be either emotional, it's going to be physical, or it's going to be psychological, but you will be met with violence if you challenge these people's reality. Straight up. Don't do it. Especially if you start talking to them and telling them about themselves and telling them their error in their ways in an arrogant tone, in a condescending manner, you're going to be met with violence. Physical, psychological, or emotional. Hands down. When we move into the private, as we learn this information, as we come to the understanding and realization that we were taught control knowledge and that there's an abundance, it's a plethora, there's ridiculous amounts of information and knowledge just with regards to commerce in this country that we weren't taught, that's beneficial to us and our families. You bring into the attention to people what they don't know. Not because they asked you, hey, what I don't know. You just coming, hey, did you know that you don't know, blah, blah, blah? You over here celebrating Christmas. Do you know that's the winter solstice and pagan celebration? And the bowing before the tree. And the nature worship, and the tinsel, and the gold and the silver tinsel on the tree, and what that represents, and you over here doing it, and then you bow to the tree when you bend down to pick up the presents, you bowing to the. You're going to be met with violence. Nobody want to hear that. Hard truth of a trustee. Number 4, you will be met with violence, whether psychological, physical, or emotional, if you challenge these people's realities without their consent. I was trying to put them on. I was trying to help them out. Man, you did not get consent. You in the private, you got to get consent now. You giving consent. We giving consent to commercials. If you watch commercials, TV, we give consent to advertisements and certain things in different apps and stuff like that. There's certain things that we consent to just automatically as a society. But no one really consents to being made feel stupid. So whether it's your friend, it's your mother, it's your brother, it's your sister, just be careful. Let's jump into the 5th one. 5th hard truth of a private trustee, you know what I'm saying? We getting to the end of this. Y'all see why I started early and stuff, you know what I mean? When it comes to transitioning to the private and then having to go deal with people in the public, I don't care how old they are. It doesn't matter their age, their education, because their education is all controlled public knowledge anyways. It doesn't matter religion or anything like that. When you're dealing with people in the public, you're dealing with those who are in possession of controlled knowledge and not in possession of true knowledge. You're dealing with the mental 3rd graders. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with mental 3rd graders. If you can understand that concept as you transition into the private, whether you're talking to your brother, your sister, you're talking to the banker, you're talking to the county clerk, you're talking to whoever you're talking to. Just as private trustees, we always assume ignorance over malice. But you need to understand that you're dealing with psychological and emotional 3rd graders. They have very, very small self-esteem, and they're very reactive and very emotional when you even look like you're attacking or even focusing on their self-esteem or anything that they associate with their self-esteem. Very, very immature. And if you hurt them, you hurt their feelings, they're going to get mad, they're going to get sad, they're going to go tell mommy and daddy, which is the supervisor, they're going to call the police, they're going to, this is what you're dealing with. They're going to tell the teacher, they're going to go tell someone of authority on you. So it is best to keep in mind that as private men and women, when we deal with those in the public, we're dealing with children. You're dealing with third graders. And if I ever walk up and see you beating up on a third grader, I'm going to take care of you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you get no glory over beating up on a third grader, being a mature adult. And that's what we are. When you say you're private, you're saying that you do not participate in public controversy. You're saying that you know that there is no money. You understand that public and private don't mix. I forgot the other one. Why am I drawing a blank tonight? Stay in honor at all costs. And there's nothing honorable about being a bully. So I don't care if she's 40, if he's 82, he's a third grader. She's a third grader. Because you're private, you have private, true knowledge. They have public, controlled knowledge. You're dealing with third graders. And that's how you need to look at it. You need to keep your composure. You need to keep your emotions in check because you're dealing with children. And if you can understand that, you're going to have a pretty relatively easily transition to the private. And, you know, I welcome you into Trustee training. You can email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com, and we can get you set up. We're running a specific offer for those who are signed up to the email list. Go to welcometothefoundation.com on the main page and just put in your email, and you will be added to the email list. There's nothing else that you have to do. Ignore the message that you get when you click enter or whatever. All you got to do is put it in there, hit the button, you're in there. But, you know, those are the 5 hard truths of a private trustee. If you can deal with that, then, you know, you're more than welcome to accept the offer of private trustee training here at the foundation. I do have a bonus for y'all, though, and this is a bonus that, you know, this probably should have been number 1, I think, but it is what it is. So, you know, bonus of the 5 hard truths of a private trustee: you will confront your ignorant nature. Your ignorant nature, you will confront your fears. You will have to. You will reevaluate the people in your circle. And you will have to be accountable and responsible for your ego, for your fear, for your behavior, and for the way that you treat and deal with people. And if you can't do that, you have no business trying to administer a private trust, setting up a private estate, none of that stuff. You have no business. If you can't be accountable for yourself, if you're a Christian who he or she who be without sin cast the first stone, if you can't understand the principles behind that and hold them and clutch them close and dear to you as a noble of your family heirship or bloodline, you have no business. This isn't for you. It really isn't. You will confront your arrogant, ignorant, fearful, inconsiderate, disrespectful, selfish nature. You will have to confront it. You will. There are things, and every trustee in training can attest to it. There are things that happen in your life when you come into the private information, when you really get there, whether it's in your personal life, your business life, combination, it doesn't matter. There's things that start happening where you have to confront things. You have to be real. You have to let go of some things. You have to pick up some other things. You have to maybe make some serious sacrifices to see how serious you are about this lifestyle change. which is transitioning to the private or going private, which is known as. But if you understand fundamentally that you have to address and functionally change your mind, the way you think about things, things that you value, habits that you've created, and therefore that will allow you to do things differently than you've been doing them up until now in your life. If you understand that's a fundamental part of going private, I don't know what to tell you. There's no 12 steps that's going to make it easy. No 12 steps here, go private. No, you're going to have a lot of problems if you don't look at this as a functional, substantive transition as well as a spiritual transition. You're going to have a lot of problems. I can keep it very, very worldly. I can keep it very substantive. You know what I'm saying? I can keep it very, very hands-on, very physical when it comes to the training. But I'll tell you, I fight spiritual battles all day, every day. I know that I'm a soldier in the war of the worlds. And, you know, every decision that I make a choice to build or destroy on the path of this life. And if you're not willing to confront your ignorance and your fear and your inconsideration and your desperate manipulative tactics that you employ when you don't get what you want, your selfishness, if you're not ready and willing to confront that, you're gonna have some problems, player. When it comes to transitioning, because when it comes to anything, there's positive and negatives that come along with it. That's why there's a saying that their grass is always greener on the other side. A lot of people want to be famous, want to be stars, want to have a lot of money, but they don't understand the negatives, the trade-offs that come with that. You have no privacy. You don't know if they really like you or love you for you. You know, when you got people around you and stuff like that. Even your friends and your parents, the people closest to you that you love, they act different. They look at you differently. There's a different look in their eye when they look at you and stuff. You don't know what it's like to live that life. You just know what it looks like and appears. Same thing with going private. It looks all honky-dory and man, it looks spectacular over there. I saw Sot over there moonwalking last week on the private side. It looks fun. Yeah, I'm sure. It looks fun. But with what comes to mind when witnessed as being almost magic or something spectacular, really behind closed doors, is a very arduous feat, because it takes a lot of studying, it takes a lot of grinding, it takes a lot of research, it takes a lot of understanding, it takes a lot of application, it takes a lot of, a lot in order to show and prove, in order to substantiate, in order to walk this path. And it's not just by filling out paperwork and getting notary stamps on stuff and getting it authenticated on the state and the federal level. This stuff is spiritual. Yusuf will tell you, any real mentor worth their salt or gold will tell you, like, you gonna walk this. Your left leg is gonna be walking the path in the physical, and your right leg is gonna be walking the path in the spiritual, and you're gonna be doing it at the same time when you come over here. You gotta do all your business in clean hands. How do you do business in clean hands? You have to have proper morals. You have to have a proper character. You have to have empathy. You have to value truth, honor, peace, justice. And that, these are the only ways. These are the only ways. And in order to do this, in order to, transition to the private, you have to have these qualities. You have to confront your nature. You have to confront yourself. You have to, quote, metaphorically look at the man or woman in the mirror and be honest, and don't take down the veils that you have in front of your eyes. How you soften the edges of yourself because it makes you feel better when you go to sleep at night. Quit it. We too grown for this. That's what they do, y'all. We don't do that. We nobles, and yes, it's a lot harder in a lot of ways. There's a lot more responsibility, but the benefits are raw daddy. Raw daddy. And can't nobody tell you nothing when you know that you are doing your dance and your ancestors and the creators and the heavens and the earth and the universe is behind you. Because not only do you have right knowledge, you are walking right. So everything sparks, everything's got glitter, everything is happening. It's almost like magic. It's like, wow, how does everything seem like it happens just the way I want it to? It's a fine line. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Doesn't life, y'all know what I'm talking about. In life, when we really need something, we take care of it. When we really need something, y'all know what I'm talking about. When we really need it, man, somehow it just happens. We take care of it, right? Okay, so the transition from that to what I'm talking about is just when you want something, it happens. The stuff that you really need, you don't really need anything to happen anymore because it's taken care of. Now that energy of, oh man, I really need to pay this bill, that energy is focused on, oh man, I would really like this. That would be an enjoyable experience. So I would really like, man, it changes. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell y'all right now? This is mentalism. You are very powerful. You are very powerful. And regardless if you know it or acknowledge it or understand it, you bring to you what you get. You do that. And, nothing against religion or faith, but bad things happen, we blame it on the devil. Good things happen, we praise God. Yo, take responsibility and be accountable for what you do. Do you get up every day? Do you choose to do this versus that? And, of course, give homage, give honors, give thanks, all praises to the Creator and to the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? For without, what would I be? But with that plus my action, my honor, my nobility, my goals, my purpose, I am great. You are great. Hands down. We got about 30 seconds left in the broadcast. You got to call in 563-999-3625, 563-999-3625. Otherwise, you will be disconnected in about 30 seconds. But I think this right here, I think this show is very important. I trust that this show is very important. I trust that you needed to hear this. This is why I'm doing it. I don't see any reason other than that. Why would I be doing this show other than you need to hear this? This was something that you needed to hear. I am a hollow reed, yo. You would be like, yo, thanks, so you don't know what you do. Hey, look, man, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to. Hey, man, I answered the call, and this isn't me. You just see me and you hear you don't see me. Y'all used to see me. You hear my voice. And this is my voice, maybe, I don't know, the octave or, the voice signature, I guess, belongs to me for now. But all this coming through me to say me, man. I'm just doing my job, I get something in my mind, I will sit down and read. And I'll be like, man, I'll do it later. That's the difference, Like, oh, I'm supposed to read that. That's interesting. I will read it. Because I feel like that's the ancestors. That's something beyond me, but I'm still connected to. That's kind of like letting me know. So I pay attention to those little nuances, little things that some people don't pay attention to. I do. And I don't pay too much attention to where I get superstitious. Like, oh, the bird landed right there. Does that mean I shouldn't go to work today? I don't know. But I do pay attention. I'm aware. So I don't know. I was paying attention today, and something told me that I needed to talk about the 5 hard truths of a private trustee. I need to put down, the reasons why you want to be a trustee and what's coming, and I need to put that down. And I need to chop it up with y'all. So that's what I did. I trust that y'all appreciated it. Y'all want some phone? Y'all on the phone? Anybody on the phone? Should I take some calls? Okay. I see some on the phone. Look, before I go to the phone, bottom line, we were taught to look out. You were taught your entire life to look outside of yourself for all things negative as well as all things positive. And whether that's detrimental or not, it's not necessarily appropriate if you're attempting to transition to the private, because when you go private, it's all about 100% responsibility, 100% liability. In the public, there's limited liability. That's in the public. In the private, you gotta handle your business. You gotta be accountable. Ain't no, it broke. I broke it, but it was an accident. But here, it just broke. I don't know. That stuff don't work in the private. You playing yourself. And I just think that just needs to be understood. It needs to be spoke on. And y'all need to get your mind right. You're going to be met with resistance. This isn't going to be easy. I found Sot, and he got Trustee training, and man, this is everything in one spot, and this is what I was looking for. And I know you're excited, but I'm not walking your path for you. I'm not dealing with the bankers. I'm not dealing with your mom, your dad, your girlfriend when she asks you, why are you spending all this money on some sort of education and it's not even a real school and we need groceries? I'm not there dealing with that, y'all. Most of the time, you're not going to be able to. I've been training people. I've been doing shows on high frequency radio for coming up on 5 years. How long do you estimate that I've been researching and studying and applying this information prior to High Frequency Radio Network? Which means I was in the same boat. Flying to Texas, $20,000. Fly to California, $7,000. $500 on a manual, $700 on a on a basically 4 different books. $300 on a dictionary. You spent $300 on a dictionary? Well, yeah, it's a Black's Law dictionary. It's a fourth deluxe edition. They don't even make these anymore. Man, I'm getting looks crazy. You don't understand unless you do this. And then when things start changing, then everybody wants down. But what you got to understand is you are like a year, 2 years deep. And there's no easy way for them to catch up to you, which creates another dilemma. Because now, here comes this, do it for us. You're the savior. You're the one I always knew you could. Good luck with that. Navigation. This is a spiritual thing. You got to sit down and think about it. And at the same time, you got to be good with your actions. You got to be able to go home and go to sleep and not be wrestling in your heart and in your mind on how you said something or what you said or how you treated somebody or just, I've had a lot of trustees drop out, not because they couldn't get the information, just because they life and they could not relegate and aggregate their current life and lifestyle and the people in it and what they were doing with what they wanted to do. They couldn't bridge the gap. Very, very intelligent. Just couldn't bridge it. Just couldn't do it. It was too far of a jump. A lot of us have jobs and we learn private information. What does that mean? A lot of us have spouses or significant others. So we going to work and then we getting off and we listen to podcasts and then we reading and we ain't spending time with them. A lot of us lose relationships in this transition. Lose your wife, lose your husband. You're lucky. If your wife or your husband is learning this stuff with you, you are very lucky. Very lucky. It's hard. These are the hard truths, y'all. You be losing, you lose, but water finds a level. And if you got 10 bags in your hands, right? If I give you 10 bags and your hands are full and each bag has 40 bars of silver, right? And then I got another 10 bags in my hand and each bag has 40 bars of gold, and your hands are full. What do? You got to let go of the silver bags to grab the gold bags. It seems like so simple. And I know I just nonchalantly just say these metaphorical phraseologies that just no. This is experience. I know what I'm talking about, so I can relate it to other subjects. But if I'm holding 10 bags and each bag has 40 ounces of silver in it, and then you walk up at me and you like, yo, you want these? And I'm looking down at my hand and I know I can't grab, what you giving me and keep what I got. And what I got is valuable, but I know what you got is more valuable. You know how hard it is for people to put down value and have nothing just for a second so they can pick up something more valuable? Do you know how hard that is? Especially if what you are holding is something that you worked hard for. It's like, let's say a degree. How about that? Let's say you worked 4 years to get a degree. And then so comes up to you and talk about this private dance. And you can use a contract entity. You just print it off and go get it witnessed and go get it notarized and get an EIN and go into the bank and open a bank account. It's just that simple. And you're like, man, what the You know how hard that is? There's a lot of these things that people don't think about when it comes to this transition, y'all. And I want you to know. I don't want you to be surprised. I don't want you to be like, oh, man, why didn't I take the blue pill? I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm in Morpheus. That nigga said, you got the red pill, the blue pill. I grabbed them both and took them. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm going to go to the phone lines. I hope y'all felt me. You know what I'm saying? I really hope you picked up what I was putting down. I trust that this was for you. You know, I don't know why I decided at the last minute to do 5 hard truths of a private trustee, but it was for you. I trust that it was for you, and you know, that my energy and my focus and, you know, my efforts aren't in vain. You know, I know they're not. So, you know, blah, blah. I'm going to go to the phone lines, though, and then we're going to Rizap is up. So I'm going to take the first call. First caller is area code 602-9705. Area code 602-9705. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what up, Sot? This is Albert from Phoenix. How you doing? Brother Sot?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How you doing? It's been a while.
Very, very well, man. Very well. It has been a minute. It's been a minute. I'm glad you're still up here, man. Just want to give you much love and respect for doing what you're doing. We always appreciate you very much. And so to my family, you're doing good.
Good, man. Good to hear.
Man, you pancaking toes over here. Pancaking toes on it, man. My foot's sore right now. Telling truth. Got these 5 painful truths of a trustee, man. I felt them all, and we still getting a whole new bonus of it also. What we're dealing with over here, learning the day-to-days of the old stuff as well as the new challenges. Can I get the 5? Can you rewind real quick and give me number 5? Because my phone actually cut out and died right on the number 5.
Number 5 is you are dealing with mental third graders.
Oh. Ain't that the truth? Man, that's the pancake part right there. I gotta share a little bit. You know me. I might not have it all together, but the best thing I can do is share my experience as a trustee of having completed some of the things I needed to do very well, and other things not very well. And,
you care to share anything with the audience?
Yeah, I really want to share because that hits home right now as a trustee. I picked up one of the first class that Sot offered with his partner back in the day on the other class, and I'm a couple of years down the road now, and we actually finally excited about building. Let's just say the different entities that we've put together, corporations, businesses, whatever, LLCs. Stuff like that, because what the trustee training has done for me so far is help unlock, just like Sot is trying to get to y'all. It's a spiritual thing. It's unlock the mental, the spiritual, the physical And all of the doorways and hurdles that can be in the way, it can unlock all of those if you so desire. But I remember, man, probably 2 years ago when I was listening to a show having a different type of struggle, you said something very similar. This ain't for everybody. This ain't for the faint of heart. This ain't for the ones who ain't willing to put down the things that hold you down. Like you said, you got to put down those 10 bags of silver for the bags of gold. But that attachment that we have, that emotional thing from letting some things go to get to the next place, doing those things that you've never done to get somewhere you've never got. And that, it hits home because it digs. If you've ever been through anything in life, it will dig every area that you progress in business and in life, spiritually. It will dig, what you will be able to do is dig out those things that may have been buried from habits, usually just habits through time, that you were brought down from moms and pops and grandma and grandpa and the centuries, the brainwashing, all of the small things that have been poured into us. If you dig into it, I would say you can be blessed. So it's trying to convey to you guys from your innermost being. It will help teach you the areas of darkness that we don't see. You know, a lot of us, we looking out the window all day long. We never even go out to get no sunshine, especially nowadays and age with all of these viruses and pandemics. We need to go get some sunshine. A lot of us are still looking through the window, looking at Joe Smo and Jack Lowe, the neighbors doing stuff. Everybody's doing stuff. But when you look out the window through your blinds, you still have all of those little tiny blinds. They're taking up a part of your vision. You don't really see the full picture. But when you get out there and you start doing it, you're going to see the full picture, and there's levels of freedom to this that are more abounding than anything that I can ever describe. You know, I'm blessed to have my first, I got 3 beautiful boys, but my first blood son just hit a year. And for me to be able to do something my daddy never did. He was a hardworking man. He was an orphan pretty much. His family burnt down in a house fire when he was a little boy. So he came up real hard, and there was a lot of things he didn't have to give. But what I had to give to my brand new baby was spending almost a whole year, directed, solid time, molding that little brain as best as I could, given my own specific circumstances. But the freedom that I've been able to intake and that he's been able to get, from everything from a home birth to the freedom of good, clean air and a good, clean property, something like that. It's nothing more than I ever could have thought of. But my next level that we're going through right now in the growth spurt, man, it hits real hard, especially number 5, dealing with third graders. No disrespect to any of my brethren out there, all my brothers and sisters listening. And we all going through this together. And this is my newfound thing since I opened my mouth. Every time we open our mouth, we got to realize it carries weight. If we say I love, we're going to bring love. If we say I hate, it's going to bring hate. And we started something similar, a group called Street Sweepers for anybody who wants to advance in their life, anything like that. We're cleaning up the streets around ourselves, in our hearts, our homes, getting all this money out the street that's just laying there, all the money that we throwing away, wasting, getting out there. And what I'm learning, man, it's a place where you got to meet people where they're at. Everybody, encourage you. Don't have the stupid, unrealistic, over-the-top expectations for even your own mama, your daddy, your brother, your cousin, your sister, your uncle, your neighbor too. You know, don't have those unrealistic expectations. Plant that seed, you know what I mean? Give them what they need to. Stop trying to peel their head back and throw all of your knowledge in their brain. They don't deserve that abuse sometimes. We just got to do our best, because the truth is people need to see our shine. And they need to, sometimes see us flaws and show them what they need to see. It's an inherent weird thing in our nature and our DNA, so that we don't get weird reactions to them, so that we don't mess up our relationships, whether it be a newfound friend, business endeavor, or whoever it is. Enjoy the relationship, enjoy the individual, and enjoy the process is one of the best things I could give, because as a trustee, one of the toughest parts that I'm realizing once again, but another level of it, is trying to instill some of this knowledge into the family that is blood, the little bit that I can, so that they can hopefully come to, let's just say, the other side of the river where stuff is actually growing. You know what I mean? It ain't been nuked over here. So please, y'all, dig deep. You know, if this stuff is going to hit hard, don't turn away. I've turned around, tucked tail, and said, hey, you know what? I know that this ain't for me right now at different times. I cannot afford it with, once again, my current life situation. And I came back to it at different times. Picked it up, put it down, picked it up, put it down. But the one thing that it has done for me with the lifestyle, the mental that I can give to you all is create a mental of gold. Not to walk around and disrespect folks and look down on your nose and think that you are better than someone, but the spirit of gold and the heartache walking around, seeing people in their poverty of mind and financial situations. But share what you can, build up who you can along the way, and don't force nobody. Don't try to force a square peg into a round hole. When it's his time, he'll carve his edges down and he'll fit round if that's where he wants to go. If not, let him sit in the square peg hole right next to you if you're around. You guys get to do the dance together, bump elbows. That's as good as it gets. You don't have to be a clone. This is an organic situation. Everything in Trustee is trusting yourself along the way with every mistake that you can and may and will possibly make. But you got to try to enjoy it, man, because this, it ain't for the faint of heart, but please give it a shot. It's worth everything you got. It's worth it all. So give all you got, and we appreciate you again, man. Whether we spend much time together, man, you still always will be a mentor and a good brother of ours, mine specifically. So we thank you for your heart, man, and your work. It always it does a good job at helping ignite the flame over here. So we appreciate you again, and I agree. All praises due to the ancestors and the creators that help us out along the way. Bless you all.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate you. We'll catch you.
Appreciate you calling in, man. That was beautiful. That was gorgeous. Thanks for that addition to the show, man. I really do appreciate it. You said a lot of truth.
We share the same heart in a lot of ways, man. So, you know, I always got to feel what's going on, especially when we're going through it. Building process is, we're going to be breaking something in the building process. Cut, build, nail, hammer. So, thanks again for helping us build. I'll catch up with you, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling in, man. Appreciate you. Have a great evening.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, family. That was, you know, and I hope y'all appreciate him, you know, sharing that, because that was personal, you know, personal experience. That was really just, you know, echoing, you know, some of the things that I'm saying on the show. You know, you're going to be tested. You're going to go through things. It's going to be, you know, you might have to put it down for a while, pick it up later. This is a marathon, not a sprint. But there are many bountiful benefits. There's, you know, I'll tell you this. You know, I used to do music and stuff, and I had in my mind since I was young this ideology of what I was gonna be and how I was gonna be there and stuff like that. And of course, you know, most of us we come from the hood. We mostly have this idea or this way that we figure out that we're gonna get out the hood. You know, some of it's sports, other people it's entertainment, some people it's, you know, illegal activities. But a lot of times what people have in common in the ghetto, you know, in the hood, is that we trying to get out. And not all of us make it. And the ones who do, we have survivor's guilt. Or, you know, I feel like I can't speak for everyone, but we have survivor's guilt. You know? But nevertheless, in my climb to what I felt was success, I came to realize a lot of things. One thing that I came to realize is that I didn't appreciate being put on the pedestal above my people. I didn't appreciate being the token brother or we can deal with you and you're different. I did not appreciate that. It didn't make me feel good. It made me feel funny. Another thing that I realized is that I wasn't really too much concerned about success. I was really looking for my life and my actions to be significant. You know, the art that I was partaking in, the music that I was making, you know, I was looking for that to be significant. I was looking for that to maybe be my legacy, which was to me, especially now, I find it to be a very shallow legacy. Just being music, or art or whatever. Which is, I guess that's relative to each individual and how they view themselves and, serve their legacy. So I have the right to my own opinion about my own. You understand what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to tell you is when I stopped technically living for me, at first I made a large sacrifice for my family, for my children, which was very hard. I was depressed for 9 months. I gained weight. It was really tough on me mentally because it was hard for me to put down those bags of silver. And when I put down the bags of silver, the transition from me putting down what I saw as bags of silver in between me picking up what I saw as bags of gold was a long time. It was some years, honestly. And those were some tough years. And the first 9 months were very tough, specifically because I worked for like 15 plus years to get to the spot where I wanted to be, and I had to walk away. I had to. There was no way. I would have destroyed myself. When they talk about selling your soul, I don't know if they give you contracts talking about really for your soul, but man, these fools in entertainment, anybody who wants to do music, you want to be an actor, your child wants to be a music actor, anything, they will make you compromise your morals and your character. There's no other way. Trust me. So, I was really messed up. And, in that transition between the bags of gold and the bags of silver for me, I went through a lot of stuff. A lot. But when I decided to serve, when I decided that I'm not concerned about me and I'm going to serve, first I said I'm going to serve my family. Because, like Albert said, the things that my daddy and my mom wasn't able to give me, my grandma, so on and so forth. So I'm going to serve my family, I'm going to serve my children. And then I started serving my brothers and sisters. And I'm telling you, if you told me, in 2020, beyond the pandemic, you will have not done music for about 10 years. Of course, you're still making money off your publishing. You will not have worked a job. You have your own companies. You're in real estate. You're a real estate investor. You have a weekly internet radio show, and you teach trust administration. And if you told me my net worth, I would not have believed you. I didn't see it. I would have argued with you. If you told me, hey, man, in 2020, you're going to be so L. And I'm gonna be in your training, and you're going to have helped me change the life of myself and my family. And I want to say thank you. And you are a large part of my life, and you're a real estate investor. You own companies, and your net worth is this. Tangible assets, this is what you're worth. I would have argued with you. I probably would have called you crazy. I might have said, I'll beat you up if you don't get on my face. You're a weirdo. I would have threatened you with violence, physical. I would have called you crazy, which is psychological, emotional violence. You would have been met with violence because at that time I was a third grader. And I couldn't see what I couldn't see. I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? Where you're at and where they're at, I have been. We all have been. Those who you call gurus or mentors or whatever. We've all been in the same spot at one point in time. And this is just, the foundation is just me trying to, like I said, reestablish the fundamental knowledge with regards to doing business and commerce. That's the purpose of the foundation. Educational knowledge. It's an educational purpose. It's a charitable purpose, but it is not a tax-exempt charity. But it's to help you transition from where I was to where I am, because I know where I was. It was dope. I'm not telling you it was not a bad life. It wasn't, but it wasn't fulfilling either. And where I am now, this is the most fulfilling I've ever had. I can't tell you. I help people. I really do. I really do. And it makes me feel so good being able to help people and get them in better situations and teach them the truth. And, have relationships with people that were in training for 5, 4, 3, multiple years. It's very important to me. Doing business with my people, so that it counters against what I was dealing with as me having to be the token Negro. And all my other people were in lower economic positions. I actively fight against that every day. Fight against I'm very honored to be able to do it. So when I say this isn't me, it's not. That's what I mean. This isn't me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trusting in the Creator and the ancestors. I feel like my grandma's behind me because I got a burst of insatiable hunger for knowledge right after she passed, and I attribute my success, my significance in my life to a lot of different things other than myself. But the movement, the application, the study, the hard work, the sacrifice, that was me. That's what it takes. And that's what I want to impart to y'all. So, yeah, appreciate you, Albert, for sharing that. I'm going to go to another caller, and then I'm out. 929-4056. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace, my brother Saltel. This is Sister Yvette. Kings, Queens, Communities, my brother. I am so glad that you gave the 5 steps, because when I started trustee training, I thought I was going to be on point. I struggled. I studied. I struggled. It finally clicked. I started doing things differently. Then I had to self-examine. I had to really swallow the bitter pill of truth and say, self-examine. Is this where I want to be? Do I want to be like the crabs in the barrel? Do I want to keep going from paycheck to paycheck? Do I want to keep thinking I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses? Yeah. Kings and Queens Communities is 2 words, choices and decisions. If you've been incarcerated, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been locked down, you know what I'm talking about. Choices and decisions. See, the thing about it is, we have choices and we have decisions. Do we choose to stay in our situations, or do we make a decision to change? Then you have to be real with yourself. Are you really willing to put away foolish things? Are you really willing to self-examine and say, am I selfish or am I selfless? Are you really willing that once you get to that private side, are you going to look back and help folks out, or are you going to start flaunting stuff in their face? Are you really going to be willing to invest in the silver or the gold or the platinum or the precious metals, the tangible assets? Or are you going to keep spending money on things that's going to rot out in the next 6 months to a year? See, that's the choices and the decisions. The choices and the decisions are you still going to be paying the rent, or are you going to be homeowners? You're going to own your own homes, your own condos, your own co-ops. What are you going to do? The next thing is, are you reasonable with yourself to be a man or woman and say, you know what, I created this debt. Do I write it off? Do I claim bankruptcy? Am I going to make my choice to pay the debt, or am I going to start all over? Choices and decisions. Do you want to stay on this 9 to 5 and build somebody else's kingdom, somebody else's empire? Because, see, my brother's been talking about business, starting your own businesses. In this pandemic, there was 2 choices and decisions. Some of us chose to keep working and go through the decision if we make it from day to day, or else we made the decision to walk away and still see day to day, but we have nothing to show for it. The thing about it is, you had a choice. You made a decision. Private education is definitely a choice and a decision. Are you going to be liked? No. Are you going to be understood? No. Is everybody going to jump on the bandwagon? No. Is family and friends going to have your back? I'm going to tell you right now. No. Are they going to study like you? No. So when you come into trustee training, you have to know 90% of the groundwork is going to be you. Because at the end of the day, it's all going to fall on you when everybody else screw up. Because you're going to have to dot your I's and you're going to have to cross your T's. And you better not mess up. You better study, and you better study well. You better know your laws. You better know your ordinances. You better know whatever course you go into when your trustees or your beneficiaries screw up without you knowing. See, the thing about it is you can walk that walk, but will you stand up strong when you're making that walk? This is not a walk for weak people, faint people, overthinkers. You have to be a doer, and you have to be cautious when you're doing. You have to self-examine. Everybody that's involved, you have to self-examine yourself. When you have a business, you can write off your cell phone, your clothing, and all the little things that go in the office. You can write off your home-based business, the space in there. You can write off the toiletries and the coffees when you're doing your business meetings or your business trust or your family trust. But see, unless you get with my brother and do the consultation, you're never going to know that. See, I made that choice, and I made the decision that I have to leave some things and some people behind. I let my family know last year, Thanksgiving, we started a family trust. I haven't heard anything else. You know what I heard, my brother? I heard crickets. Ain't nobody came back to chat. Ain't nobody said what we need to do. Nothing. The paperwork is still sitting there because I'm still waiting for the signatures. I'm still waiting for everybody to step up. See, these are the things, people, that you have to make a choice and decision about. If they're going to have your back and if they're going to help the family grow. Business trust, family trust, foundations. You better make sure whatever you lay that foundation for, they going to pick it up and run with it. Because our people don't perish for lack of knowledge. They perish because they reject it. See, you have to be a studier. You have to be a reader. You have to be a doer. Not a procrastinator, not a pessimist, not an optimist. You have to be to the letter. Kings and queens, communities. I am so proud of those who stepped up and took the training and made that walk. Some fell off for a season. They're going to come back. Some dropped out because they was waiting on other folks. They're going to pick back up. Some of them dropped out because of finances. They're going to come back too. The thing about it is, real men, real women take care of theirs. Are you a real woman or are you a real man? Kings and queens, are we nobles or are we clowns? 2020, if it did nothing else for 99% of society, should have opened your eyes. Now, Boo Boo the Fool got a few more days in that chair. Y'all better watch the courts. Y'all better watch your rights, what they're going to try to get rid of, because they're removing certain laws to not benefit us. So be mindful. Watch what's going on. See, they want to stop us so badly by any means necessary. That's what they have amongst themselves. But Malcolm X said, by any means necessary to us. We taking it by violence. And we don't have to physically be violent. We have to be mentally and financially violent. Kings, queens, communities. Now is the time you get your affairs in order. 2021 is coming in quick. Make sure you have your businesses, your trust, and everything in order because they're coming. Make sure you have all your precious metals and your tangible assets completely protected. My brother, keep doing the good work. The ancestors are definitely surrounding you, on your shoulders, protecting you. Everything that they think they're trying to do to you, they can't. And they won't be able to. Because when your hands are wicked, you can't prosper. If you notice, everybody that's around you that started this walk in the same areas, slowly but surely they're collapsing because the veils are coming off of them. And people are not liking what they're seeing and they're hearing. Keep doing the good work. Peace, King. Peace, kings, queens, and communities. Peace to the gods.
Peace to the gods. Appreciate it, sister. I always appreciate when you call in and bless us with your infinite wisdom. Thank you. I trust everything is well with you and the fam. And, I trust everything's going to work out in your endeavors as far as establishing your private estate. Let me know. Hit me up if you need any assistance, any support. You got my number. Always a pleasure to hear from you. But, yeah, I appreciate you calling in every time. Appreciate, the sister Yvette. Shout out to Albert. Appreciate y'all. I trust that y'all were able to, to glean something, gather something, gain something, from this episode of The Foundation, 5 Hard Truths of a Private Contract. I'm just trying to let y'all know what it is. I'm just not here speaking the truth. When I figure it out, I'll let you know. And I don't hold no punches. I don't hold nothing back. Because I know you're going to figure it out anyways, and you ain't going to be looking at me weird because you figured out that I held some stuff back. So you never told me that, man. Why didn't you tell me that part? Like, nah, I'm cool. You ain't going to be talking to me crazy. So I'll let y'all know everything. I'm just going to, let it out there, It's all inclusive, so that's what it is. I highly encourage you to get into trustee training if you feel or deem that is, something that is along the lines of what is attributable to you and your capabilities and your pursuits, your values, your goals. Admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Let me know. I suggest you sign up to the email list. We got an offer going right now for trustee training. I would say it's magnificent, but it's only for email subscribers. I also want to tell y'all, if you can read between the lines, the closed mouth does not get fed. An offer never expressed is never accepted. And if you are afraid of hearing no, you should really evaluate some things psychologically about you and your mind, because no, the answer no is very freeing. I would love to hear no, then maybe, because if you say no, then I know not to waste my time anymore. I'm out of here. I'm going to move on, start focusing on other things. And then I'll never know. I never have to think, oh, man, was that going to, I don't know. Nope, because I already checked. It's not happening. I'm out of here. Saves a lot of anxiety. Saves a lot of issues. If you're when I just stand up to stuff and be like, yo, man, can I? And they be like, nah, they might be like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, closed mouth does not get fed is what I'm trying to tell you. And, you can add 1 to the 2 and then the 3 and carry the 4 and then figure out what I'm really saying. But I trust those to hear and understand, those who can hear and understand. With that being said, another week under the belt. I'm coming up on 5 years, man. High Frequency Radio Network. I can say I'm coming up on the HFRN elite status is what I'm saying. I'm gonna confirm with Yusuf. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna confirm with Yusuf. But I'm like, am I elite? At 5 years, am I elite? Am I high frequency elite? At 5 years, baby. I'm excited for that. I trust that y'all excited for that. A lot of these gurus come out here and they got to popping off and they're gone in a couple years. I don't know if it's the feds, if it's an audit, IRS, who knows? But I think, longevity says something, correct? Right. So, bang, bang. That's all. That's the only tooting of my own horn I'm going to do. In the meantime, I trust that y'all enjoy your week. I trust that you gain some valuable information from the show. Trying to counteract the programming in the public, with the education in the private. You know what I mean? if you would like to, I'll invite you to check out welcometothefoundation.com. There's a lot of stuff on there, education tab, information, PDFs, sign up for the email list. We're getting to a number in the email list where I feel compelled to just start giving y'all more value. There's a lot of y'all now. It's like, dang, I need to start sending stuff. So I'm going to send out in the next couple of days, everybody on the email list, I'm going to send y'all out, this little paper I did on how, starting your own business. If you're thinking about booking a consultation anytime soon because you want to start your own family business or something, don't do it. Just sign up for the email list. I'm going to send out the blast. This little document I did about starting your own LLC. Just, I make it very simple, very easy to understand. And then, after you check out that document, you still want a consultation, then book it. Now, how many people do you know that tell you, don't give me your money yet. Take this, and then if you still want to give me your money, then give me your money. I don't know, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all my family. I do this. I do this for y'all. For real. I'm good. Just so y'all know, I'm good. I don't got to do podcasts, baby. I'm good. I want y'all to be good. I want to, walk by y'all and see you shining, man. It just makes me feel good. I don't even got to know you. Just see you over there smiling and shining. And, man, I like that energy. And I want to do my part to plant seeds in your mind so that you can cultivate that energy in yourself and in your life, which is, man, it's just a winning, happy, man, I'm doing my dance energy, baby. You know what I mean? Get away from me with that jive, turkey. I love y'all, man. I'm having a good time. I'm out of here, though, I trust y'all had a, enjoy yourself. Trust y'all have a great week. Enjoy your week. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the people who care about you. You know what I'm saying? Focus on them. Put the phone down. Put the iPad down. Put it down. Ask them how their day was. Ask them what's going on with them. How's the last week going? How are you taking this pandemic? Is there anything that I can do for you to help you? You got to shine your light. Shine your light everywhere, man, because then you'll just see beautiful blossoms everywhere you look, baby. It's a gorgeous thing. So, pay attention. Show some extra love to your loved ones this week, yo. Say I love you a couple extra times. Give a couple more hugs. Say I appreciate you. Say thank you for doing that for me. And what can I do for you? Try to be of service. Put a smile on someone's face. Say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. And take care of yourself, love yourself, and enjoy yourself. Most of all, enjoy yourself, man. It's a lot of stress, a lot of weirdness, a lot of hours, overtime, man. Enjoy yourself. And take care of yourself. And I'll catch you next week here on the hottest radio network on the planet, High Frequency Radio Network, baby. Peace. I love you. I appreciate you. Enjoy yourself. Like I said, catch you next week. Peace to the gods.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.